When you have a collection defined in the outliner and there are some objects in it, then it is possible to add a collection instance by pressing Shift+A and head to the collection instance section. Choose your preferred collection which should be added as your instance. And you successfully added a collection instance. This instance is able to adopt animation, physics simulation and particle effects. More about collection instances and how they work in this video now. You can do a lot with Blender. Maybe you are laying out a scene, for example level design. For this you need to place multiple identical meshes within the scene, like props. So I was wondering if Blender has a concept of a prefab where you have multiple instances of one or multiple objects. The main thing should be, if you modify the main object, all of the other instances will be similarly updated. So it shouldn't be just in duplicate. And the answer is yes. It is called collection instances. Collection instances, former so-called group instances, are like duplicates of a defined collection of objects which are permanently linked to the main collection structure and are a very performant way of working. Collections may contain animation, objects with physics simulation, particle effects, and even other nested collections. All of this will be copied and linked to the instance. There is no specific process how to define a collection instance. It is already possible to add a collection instance by creating a collection in the outliner. You do this by pressing C while hovering the outliner with the mouse to create an empty collection. Or select one or multiple objects in your scene and press M to move the selection to the collection. You can add them to existing collection or create a new one. From that moment you will be able to add an instance of this collection. I will show you now 3 methods how to add a collection instance. 1. Call up the Add menu by pressing Shift+A and head to the last section, Collection Instance. Now you have to select the collection which should be doubled. A second method is the menu in the top left corner within your 3D viewport. Click on the Add icon and go to Collection Instance. This is pretty much the same path like method 1. The third method is to go to the outliner and do a right click while hovering the wanted collection. Choose Instance to Scene. All 3 methods will add the following at this point. An instance of the collection and an empty object will appear. You can duplicate the empty and the instance collection settings will be preserved for each empty. In this way you can get multiple copies of linked data very easily. For sure it is super helpful when you work with collection instances and you want to adjust something for the basic objects, and this will influence all instances at the same time. But there is another huge advantage when it comes to memory space. For example, I have this scene here and 2 times the same 3D object just with different textures. The orange tree is within the collection. The green one not. Check out the memory value at the bottom of this window. When I start adding collection instances, then the memory size is growing very slowly. But when I take the green tree and just duplicate it a couple of times, then you see that the memory size is growing very fast. This is nothing what you should underestimate. Basically it is not possible to edit the collection instance when it is selected. The only way is to select the origin object or objects, transform them, rotate them, scale them, or adjust the geometry. Important to know is that the position of the object to the center of the scene will determine the collection center. So it is good to have the 3D cursor on 0 position. When you move the object of the basic collection, then this will change the position of the instances too. The empty object stands for the 3D cursor position, so the empty object is more or like the origin of the collection. It is possible to add modifiers which will be shared to the instances too. As I mentioned it before, you are able to share animation, physics simulation and particle effects. Just to cover this topic too, working with the particle effects is not 100% straight. When you select one object and add a particle effect, then this basic particle effect will be not shared to the instances. In the particle properties, you have to scroll down till you find render and switch render as from halo to object or collection. For sure you have to select the object or collection next so that it works. But what I have to do when I think to dissolve an instance so that I can manipulate and adjust it? You have to apply the instance. Go to the menu and open the object section. Head to apply and select make instances real. You do the same with the shortcut Ctrl+A to call up the apply window. Now you can move all objects freely and delete some of them as well. Care about particle effects. The particles will be transformed to single objects. But when you enter the edit mode, then you see that all objects of the former collection are still linked. So materials, geometry and shading will be shared. If you want to unlink this, then use the make single user function. Object, relations, make single user, object and data. Every instance and linking is dissolved now. For everybody who want to know if modifiers will be applied while the dissolving process, then I have this answer. No, the modifier is still open for adjustments. And that's all so far. Thank you very much for watching. It would be very nice to give this video a like and or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more game dev videos. Cheers!